You're watching the 6:15 primetime newscast in the English language on Canal the International. Thanks for joining us. My name is Gladys Sambo. Stay tuned for our major stories. The fight against the consumption of roadside drugs persists in Cameroon, but ironically, the phenomenon continues to rise in towns and cities as well as rural areas. Where is the missing link in the fight? Why do many feel comfortable with roadside medicine than standard pharmacies? Our newsrooms took a special interest as Cameroon joined other countries to commemorate the African Day for the fight against fake drugs. And farmers in Cameroon are currently in a dilemma as persistent price hikes in fertilizers and other agricultural input is negatively impacting on their yields. The high cost of these fertilizers has also provoked increase in prices of foodstuff and is suffocating households. You will have the details of this in this newscast. Those were our headlines. Developments right ahead. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Vendors of roadside medication in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, have been warned to stop the activity that poses a danger to the lives of the population. The warnings were dished out by the police today during a sport walk to sensitize the population on the consumption, on the dangers of the consumption of such drugs to the human system, and were advised to abstain from such consuming such hard drugs. This as Cameroon joins other countries, especially African countries, to commemorate the day or the African Day for the fight against fake drugs. Hyacinthe Chia has more on that story.
Say no to fake drugs is the message the personnel of the Delegation General for National Security are out to preach across the streets of Yaoundé this Wednesday.
On this African Day for the fight against fake drugs, the police has decided to carry on a walk in order to sensitize the population on the dangers of consuming fake drugs. For those who continue to sell those bad drugs, we are telling them to stop because they are destroying the life of the youth.
The sensitization campaign by the police elements on this October 12, African Day for the fight against fake drugs, which has started with the sport walk, will continue in different schools across the country to pull out youth from the rising phenomenon. This to be followed by a repressive phase on those illegal vendors who must refrain or will be punished according to Article 258 of the Penal Code.
And still talking about fake drugs or roadside drugs, this time around the fight against the consumption of roadside drug persists in towns and cities in Cameroon as well as in rural areas. And the phenomenon continues to rise. Where is the missing link in the fight? Why do many Cameroonians prefer roadside drugs than standard pharmacies? Hyacinthe Chia, when talking to some city dwellers, in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, and to a health economist, and to tell us where they can tackle this trouble from. Hyacinthe Chia once again.
Cameroonians in the nation's political capital continue stopping for roadside medication, often referred to as fake drugs, for various reasons.
Par moment, on le fait parce que on n'a pas de moyens.
Je prends parce que pour la pauvreté.
Despite efforts and warnings on the consumption of such medicines with doubting status, experts say the fight cannot yield fruit because it is wrongly targeted and some state agents highly involved in the fishy game Some localities cannot boast of a standard pharmacy.
Si vous dites aujourd'hui,
You cannot start fighting against fake drugs by picking up the roadside drugs. No, there is a problem of availability. The population will revolt because that is where they easily get their drugs. Another reality is that there are localities in Cameroon without a single pharmacy. How many hospitals even have pharmacies? But roadside drug sellers are available, so there is much work to be done.
il y a un travail préalable à faire.
He laments over the liberalization of the sale of medicines that is permitting quacks get into it with the sole purpose of making money. A unique organ is therefore necessary to put the situation under control. If we want to control the process of medicines, the option of great importers must be dissolved. Let Sinamic be the sole supplier of drugs. Even those with money must be under Sinamic for appropriate control.
Dans la Sinamic.
Meantime, the clandestine sales points keep multiplying in the capital city, these promoting even the sales of hard drugs, drastically destroying the youths.
And despite prohibition by the law, roadside drug and self-medication continue to be a day-to-day phenomenon in Cameroon. And most Cameroonians say they prefer self-medication because it is less costly and not time-consuming. Meanwhile, medics continue to warn about the damages that come with self-medication. We hear that in this report put together by Stephanie Chin.
With the high cost of living, many Cameroonians are known to swing to drug peddlers for self-medication. Many who were interviewed confessed they had no choice but to go for self-medication.
For me, mostly it's time. And other times, you think you may go there and you may not really get the quality care that you want. And sometimes, okay, maybe it's just simple malaria. I go to the next pharmacy, I get the drug. Rather than go to a hospital, maybe you go there and maybe at that time there's really no doctor.
Some people are not having enough money to go to the hospital. So that's what causes some people to buy drugs by the roadside.
Medics of conventional drugs say self-medication, which is the art of consuming drugs without a correct medical diagnosis, can be dangerous. Those who go for self-medication run the danger of consuming the wrong drugs or administering the wrong doses. Certain medications, when combined, create an effect because each medication has an effect, so when combined, create more danger. Some medications can increase your blood pressure, while others may reduce your blood pressure drastically, and that reduces your heartbeat. Some medications can induce gastric ulcers. Social critics of behavioral change think the responsibility is that of the government, whose health policy is far from meeting up with the Health for All by 2020 slogan. According to the government, this illegal activity is worth more than 25% of the national drug market.
And we talk economy. The chairman of the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, Sir Jonathan Peter Malan, is in Douala to develop network of business opportunities in Cameroon. He held talks with the management of the Douala Port Authority, who presented the rehabilitation projects of the Douala Container Terminal to improve fluidity and safety of operations at the port. He equally made a stop at the Cameroon Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Crafts, where he listened to business persons. Let's have a listen to Lord Jonathan Peter Malan in this excerpt.
This is the most exciting project that's happening in Cameroon, a project that goes to 2050, and as I've said, I hope I shall be here for the opening of it. I'll be 93, but we won't worry about that. I shall be here. It's the most exciting project, container port, a whole new region of Douala being developed to create prosperity, not just for people of Cameroon, but for the neighbouring countries. And prosperity brings peace, it brings an improvement in living standards, and that's what we want to see in this region. I congratulate the Port Authority for the incredible vision they've got for creating this fantastic project, and I really look forward to monitoring it over the next few years of its development.
And still talking about the economy, farmers in Cameroon are currently in a dilemma as persistent price hikes in fertilizers and other agricultural inputs is negatively impacting on their yields. The high cost of fertilizers has also provoked increase in the prices of foodstuff and is currently suffocating households. Our newsroom picked special interest on that and have this report.
Basil Akie owns a cocoa farm and a fertilizer shop in Kumba in the southwest region of Cameroon. He complains the quantity of cocoa he has harvested is far below the quantity he harvested same period in 2021.
At first, this farm used to give us 10 to 15 bags yearly. But now, the way we were working this farm, we were using fertilizer. And now, because of the increment of the price of the fertilizer, we cannot more use the fertilizer in the farm again. And we cannot get up to 3 bags. We usually buy fertilizer at 14,000 to 15,000 francs, like urea. But for now, the cost price of that urea is 42,000 francs. We usually buy 2010 from the previous years. It was 16,000 francs or 17,000 francs. But now the cost price is 35,000 francs.
The increment in the prices of fertilizers since the start of 2022 is reportedly the consequence of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict and the result of the continuous price hikes of foodstuffs. When fertilizer is not available, we cannot have good yields. In areas like the north, far north, northwest and west regions, where fertilizers are used in greater quantities, production is affected when the agricultural inputs are scarce and expensive. Cameroon depends on about 43% of fertilizer from Russia, and with the conflict that triggered price increase in agricultural inputs, government announced earlier this year to subsidize the importation of these products to lessen the burden on importers and farmers. Yet, there is no change, and this is affecting local production at a time when Cameroon is bent on implementing the import substitution policy.
As seen in economy, farmers in Cameroon are bracing up ahead of the 2023 edition of Fruit and Vegetables International Exhibition in Italy. Objective of the encounter between the visiting president of Macfruit, Renzo Piracini, and the fruit and vegetable producers in Cameroon. They met yesterday in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, at the residence of the Italian ambassador to Cameroon. The details of that story with Omar Kusami.
The presence of these Cameroonian agriculturalists is to take advantage of the opportunities the 2023 Italian Fruits and Vegetables International Exhibition, Macfruit, has installed for them.
Opportunity of attending this exhibition where you can understand, first of all, the trend of the market. You can understand the solution that the technology could give to your worries.
Essential words modernize, be updated, export, grow and be efficient to face challenges.
This exhibition is a great opportunity for the Cameroonian agriculture, the people connected with this the production of fruit and vegetable, which are the more challenging but also the more rewarding.
Support to farmers saluted, especially from the Chamber of Agriculture and others.
Permit our country to be capable of exporting in Italy and more especially to be present at Macfruits.
Win-win advantage occasion to also showcase made in Cameroon at all levels.
Cameroon is not only in the field of football but also in the agricultural sector.
They made Tête to Feed 2023 Fruits and Vegetables Professional Exhibition at Rimini City in the northern part of Italy. The booster these producers need to flourish sectors that had witnessed a drop from 12,000 tons exportation in 2018 to 3 tons today.
And on the sidelines of the International Day of the Girl Child observed yesterday, our reporter Maureen Dees picked special interest on the challenges faced by the girl child in Cameroon, one of them being rape. Associations advocating for the rights of the girl child say there is an urgent need for government to empower more laws in order to protect the girl child. Her report.
In the last 10 years, there has been increased attention on issues that matter to girls among governments and the general public, and more opportunities for girls to have their voices heard. Yet, investment in girls' rights remains limited, and girls continue to confront challenges, and one of them is rape. The statistics are alarming. The statistics are frightening. It affects mostly girls between 15 and 19. I would say 22% of girls of that age group are seriously affected, and 60% also face a serious harassment. It is a growing practice. For the past 3 months, we've had 6 cases of rape of young girls. Besides rape, child marriage, poverty, and many other problems are stopping girls from reaching their dreams. I think government needs to put in place a stronger laws that could protect and give the girl child more rights. At the level of the families, girls are suffering. They are subjected to sufferings and are seriously corrected. There is need of change of mindset. Different associations like Local Vifa is fighting for the protection of girls. They continue to call the attention of government to implement laws and policies geared towards safeguarding the future of the girl child. The International Day of the Girl Child, commemorated every October 11, is to raise awareness on daily challenges faced by the girl child.
And the long-gone legendary comedian Jean-Michel Kanga has been projected in a featuring movie titled Kanga, which will be officially launched on October 21, 2022. Cameroonian-born actor Landry Ngetsa played the role of the legend Kanga. Let's hear that in this report by Stephanie Chen.
25 years after death, the legend Jean-Michel Kanga, who was a prominent comedian, is back in the person of actor Landry Ngetsa. The actor, with a similar resemblance to the legend, has been brought to the limelight in his yet-to-be-premiered movie titled Kanga. Landry Ngetsa plays the double role of the comedian Jean-Michel Kanga and Dieudonné Afana as his personality. His gestures and manner of expression, a projection of the legend, playing the role of 2 characters, a challenge in the production of his movie.
Not only
the personality was intimidating to me, but the role I played, because people knew about 25 million Cameroonians know how he spoke, how he walked, so they expected the personality to be shown. Kanga, a movie which the team says took over 2 years to produce. The population called for to join as the movie is being premiered. Dieudonné Afana Eboko alias Jean-Michel Kanga, all in one person, actor Landry Ngetsa.
And it is without cultural report that we wrap up this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal. The International, the French edition of the Primetime News would be yours at 7:50 p.m. with Alain Gisler Kanga. You have same time tomorrow. You will meet me for the Primetime Newscast again in the English language. And until then, it's bye-bye for me.